the American Revolution. A small word, revolution, but it carries the weight of worlds changing. In the heart of the 18th century, a firestorm ignited on the eastern shores of what was then a distant land. This was no mere uprising. This was a fight for an idea, radical in its simplicity: freedom. The 13 colonies, once content under the umbrella of the British Empire, found their loyalty strained. A series of acts, taxes levied without consent, and the growing sense of being treated as lesser by the crown fueled the flames of discontent. This wasn't just about tea or taxes. It was about something far greater: the right to self-determination. This nascent nation, young and untested, dared to dream of a future where they were masters of their own destiny. They yearned for liberty, a word whispered in taverns and debated in town squares, a word that soon would become a battle cry. The road to revolution is paved with grievances, each one a stone laid down, one upon the other, until the path is clear. For the American colonists, these stones were acts of parliament, passed thousands of miles away, yet felt keenly in their homes and livelihoods. The Stamp Act, a tax on printed materials, sparked early outrage. No taxation without representation became a rallying cry, echoing the colonists' frustration at being denied a voice in their own governance. The Townshend Acts followed, imposing duties on goods like tea, further inflaming tensions. Each act, each new restriction, pushed the colonists closer to the brink. What began as grumbling discontent grew into organized resistance. Secret societies like the Sons of Liberty formed, dedicated to opposing British rule. The air crackled with anticipation, the sense of inevitable conflict growing with each passing season. The year is 1773. The place, Boston Harbor. Under a moonlit sky, a group of colonists disguised as Native Americans board British ships, their target chests of tea, a symbol of British authority, and in the eyes of the colonists, tyranny. With each chest tossed into the water, a message is sent: the colonists will not be ignored. The Boston Tea Party, a defiant act of protest, was met with swift and harsh reprisal. The Intolerable Acts, as they came to be known, closed Boston Harbor, stripped Massachusetts of its self-governance, and further fueled the flames of rebellion. What began as a localized dispute now threatened to engulf the entire continent. In response, representatives from 12 of the 13 colonies gathered in Philadelphia for the First Continental Congress. They penned a list of grievances to King George III, seeking reconciliation but also asserting their rights. The die, however, was cast. The first shots of the American Revolution would soon ring out at Lexington and Concord, marking the beginning of a long and bloody struggle for independence. The American Revolution was not merely a war fought on battlefields. It was a revolution of ideas, fueled by the brilliance and conviction of extraordinary individuals. Men like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin emerged as leaders, their names forever etched in the annals of history. George Washington, a man of quiet strength and unwavering resolve, was entrusted with the command of the Continental Army. His leadership, though tested time and again, proved instrumental in guiding the ragtag group of colonists to victory against a formidable foe. Thomas Jefferson, a scholar and a visionary, penned the Declaration of Independence, a document that eloquently articulated the colonies' right to self-government and their belief in the inherent equality of all men. Benjamin Franklin, a diplomat and inventor, secured crucial alliances with France, tilting the balance of power in favor of the fledgling nation. Section 5. The Price of Freedom: Life and Death in Revolutionary America. The American Revolution was a crucible, forging a new nation in the fires of war. But the cost of freedom, as always, was high. For 8 long years, the 13 colonies were consumed by conflict. Their fields turned into battlegrounds, their homes touched by both sacrifice and sorrow. Soldiers, many of them farmers and shopkeepers just months before, endured unimaginable hardships. They fought not for glory or conquest, but for a future where their children could live free from tyranny. They braved harsh winters, meager rations, and the constant threat of death, their courage and resilience testaments to the human spirit. Civilians, too, bore the brunt of the conflict. Homes were destroyed, families torn apart, and the rhythms of daily life disrupted by the ever-present threat of violence. Women took on new roles, managing farms, businesses, and households in the absence of their husbands, fathers, and sons. Section 6. Turning Points, Battles that Shaped a Nation. The American Revolution was a mosaic of battles, each one a piece of the larger struggle for independence. Some, like the early skirmishes at Lexington and Concord, ignited the flames of rebellion. Others, like the pivotal victory at Saratoga, proved to the world that the American cause was not hopeless. Saratoga, a turning point in the war, convinced France to formally ally with the fledgling nation. French support, both financial and military, proved crucial in tipping the scales against Great Britain. The Battle of Yorktown, the final major engagement of the war, saw General Cornwallis surrender to General Washington, effectively sealing the fate of British rule in America. But victory on the battlefield came at a cost. Thousands of soldiers, both American and British, perished in the fight. The human toll of the war, the lives lost and families shattered, served as a stark reminder of the price of liberty. Section 7. Victory and its Aftermath, Building a New World. The Treaty of Paris, signed in 1783, officially ended the American Revolution and recognized the independence of the United States of America. The 13 colonies, once scattered and divided, were now a united nation, a beacon of hope for those yearning for freedom across the globe. But the journey was far from over. The newly formed nation faced the daunting task of building a government from scratch. The Articles of Confederation, the first attempt at governance, proved inadequate, revealing the challenges of uniting states with diverse interests and priorities. The Founding Fathers, recognizing the need for a stronger union, convened the Constitutional Convention of 1787. They debated tirelessly, forging a document that has stood the test of time, the Constitution of the United States. This document, with its emphasis on individual liberty, limited government, and the separation of powers, remains a testament to the enduring legacy of the American Revolution. Section 8. The Enduring Legacy, Echoes of Revolution. The American Revolution was more than just a war for independence. It was a watershed moment in human history. Its impact felt far beyond the shores of North America. The ideals enshrined in the Declaration of Independence, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, became a rallying cry for oppressed peoples around the world. The French Revolution, just a few years later, drew inspiration from the American experience, demonstrating the global reach of revolutionary ideals. The Haitian Revolution, a slave revolt that shook the foundations of colonialism, further proved that the desire for freedom could not be extinguished. From Latin America to Asia, the echoes of the American Revolution reverberated, sparking movements for independence and self-determination. The ideals of liberty, equality, and popular sovereignty, once considered radical, gradually took root, shaping the course of modern history. Section 9. Conclusion, a revolution still unfolding. The American Revolution, though fought centuries ago, remains a living legacy, a reminder that the pursuit of freedom is an ongoing endeavor. The ideals that fueled those early revolutionaries, liberty, equality, and self-government, continue to inspire us today, challenging us to create a more just and equitable world for all. The struggle for freedom is a relay race, passed down from one generation to the next. It is up to each generation to carry the torch forward, to safeguard the hard-won liberties bequeathed to us by those who came before. For as long as the human spirit yearns for freedom, the American Revolution, in all its messy glory, will continue to resonate, reminding us that even the most improbable of dreams can be realized. The American Revolution was not just an event, it was the beginning of a journey that continues to this day. It is a journey we are all a part of, a journey toward a more perfect union, a more just world, a world where the immortal words of the Declaration of Independence ring true for all.